We look at convening as an art form. How do we consistently grow in our path to becoming the best conveners in the world?
I want to welcome everyone back to the Green Hour. We are live at the Concordia Annual Summit during Climate Week, New York City, with the co-founder of Concordia himself, Matthew Swift. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Preston. It's great to be here.
So I think first things first, congrats on the 15th annual Concordia Summit.
Hard to believe it's been 15 years, but it's a real pleasure, and I'm very, very proud of the Concordia team, the Concordia Leadership Council and Advisory Council and Board of Directors, because not only was this our 15th summit, but this was by far and away our most consequential summit as well.
And why is that?
I think there's a couple things. One is there feels this weight of things changing so dramatically in the world. And Concordia has always been a convening based on this broader collective community that we bring together. So Concordia is not demonstrative of my worldview, although I agree with a lot of the speakers and people that talk here. My worldview is not what drives this. It's this broader collective community that we've built over the last 15 years that drive it. And then second, we're not a think tank, so we don't produce policy that we're focused on trying to push on our attendees. We look at convening as an art form, and we stick to how do we consistently grow in our path to becoming the best conveners in the world. And that's the long-term goal for us.
Well, I know one of the themes this year and in previous years has been around energy transition and climate itself. How do you feel that being one of the big issues of today?
I think that it's a critical issue, but things are changing rapidly in terms of how we talk about it and how we look at these issues. And I think that is okay. We need to lean into that more, not less. We talk a lot, as you said, about environmental sustainability. We have an entire initiative focused on market-driven, nature-based solutions to protecting the Amazon rainforest. We talk a lot about what companies are doing to present great opportunities around conservation. But the movement and the broader ecosystem, no pun intended, is changing in this space. And I think that's okay. I think that it's shifting to something that says, what is the market telling us we should do? What are the private sector solutions related to the environment that should be addressed more? But how do we also achieve all of that without stifling economic opportunity and growth?
Yeah, it's interesting with the political shift in the U.S., right? You had the Biden-Harris administration, historic investment in climate technology and climate policy, and then the Trump administration comes in, some of that's cut. And I mean, I'll just ask you your viewpoint on where, let's say, climate and sustainability funding is going, as well as policy.
I think the funding is shifting a bit. First off, I do think that if the market says having a company that is more environmentally conscious is a good thing, then trust me, companies are going to become more environmentally conscious. So a lot of it is about education, awareness, but also people being impacted by issues. I'm sure you've noticed there seems to be a lot more weather. I've noticed there isn't a flight I've been on in a long time now that doesn't have pretty serious turbulence. I live in Florida on a barrier island is my home. So I think about the environment a lot. I think about water security. I think about how to live in a cleaner environment across the board. But I also want to make sure that I'm able to pursue just as much opportunity as the next person. So the key is, can we educate people more so that as consumers, they become better and better informed, which therefore drives the market, which will certainly drive these companies to be more environmentally conscious.
So I will say, I wanted to highlight the annual summit. It's not the only summit you run, right? You have regional summits as well, and the Amazonas Summit is one of those. We listened to you speak with former President Von Duque on the Swift Hour a couple of days ago, and it was very interesting hearing how the Amazonas Summit all came together. But I did want to get your viewpoint on it as well. Could you talk through that summit, how it started, and then where you see it going?
So the Amazonas initiative started between myself and a great friend of Concordia, Yvonne Duque. Yvonne Duque was a friend of mine when I was in college. He was working at the Inter-American Development Bank in Washington, and he really played such a critical role in the founding and success of Concordia. He went back to Colombia and he got into politics, became a senator, and then eventually became a president at a very young age. I believe he is the youngest president in history of Colombia. Could be wrong on that, but I believe that's the case. And in Colombia, you only have one 4-year term, so you can't run for re-election.
Oh, I
so
didn't
it's
realize.
4 years and that's it. So I went down to go see him in Cartagena a few months before his presidency was over. And first, I was struck by how at peace he was. He was so happy with what he had done for the country in his presidency, but he also was thinking so much about what's the next big thing I'm going to do. I think most people who'd been through what he'd been through over the last 4 years, you'd want to go take a nap for the next 3 months. Here was this guy thinking exactly what he wanted to do next. And one of them was he said, I want to bring Concordia into the Amazon rainforest. And what I love about it is we take business executives, policy leaders, the heads of foundations, and we talk about these different issues related to the environment, but we actually do it truly in the environment. We take them to the Amazon rainforest and we talk about these different issues and subjects. But you feel this real connection point to the issue and the subject. And one of the things I took note of when we had our first Amazon Summit is how many of these business executives had never been there, yet so many of these companies had huge capability to do more to protect the Amazon rainforest. So that is why we look at it as market-driven, nature-based solutions to protecting the rainforest. It is about how can we make a substantive change and how can we incentivize the world and how can we incentivize countries that do more to protect their environment. At the end of the day, the Amazon rainforests are the world's lungs. We have taken out the equivalent of Alaska and Texas in terms of the destruction of the rainforest today. If we are getting perilously close to levels that could really have a significant effect on the environment, that's not good for business. That's not good for people. That's not good for governments. So if we can come around that collective concern, but do it through market-driven, nature-based solutions to saving and protecting the Amazon rainforest, I can't imagine a better process to go through. You mentioned regional summits. We've actually announced today we are shifting. We're hosting what we call Horizon Summits now, and I'll tell you why we shifted from calling them regional summits. We would host a summit in London or Porto, Portugal, or the Middle East, or in somewhere in Kentucky. And we'd be covering major issues: AI, the future of workforce development, future of security alliances, all of these different subjects. But because it was a regional summit, so many companies would come to us and say, well, we don't have anything in Kentucky or the UK or Portugal. And what I realized is we were missing this whole gap of the Concordia community who should be at the table. So we're making our regional summits now Horizon Summits. They are issue-based summits that just happen to be in different places all around the world. So I'm very proud of that.
Well, last thing I want to highlight is Concordia's impact on youth. I did want to highlight how I met you. Cold message on LinkedIn years ago. And at that Kentucky
and we did
summit,
we had a good common friend though, in Nate Morris. Yep.
We did. And I think I'd seen maybe Nate Morris or someone else had posted from the Americas Summit that Concordia had in Kentucky. And I was like, this is awesome. And I started looking to the organization. I sent you a message on LinkedIn, and then it was within like maybe 15 minutes, you responded. We had you on the podcast, one of the first guests, and then you gave us the opportunity to actually be a media partner at the event. We'd never done a live interview before the event in 2023. So, and I would personally say, I don't think anyone's done more professionally for me than you. So I can't thank you enough for your mentorship and all that you've done for me.
No, listen, Preston, you're doing such a great job with the Green Hour. What I love about the program, and I've watched a lot of your interviews, and what I love about it is you really bridge different elements of the broader sustainability movement that, frankly, our leaders all around the world need to bridge. You bridge the economics of it with the geographies of it, with people's backgrounds and these subjects and these issues. I was so honored to go to your alma mater, the University of Pikeville in Kentucky. And I remember walking away from that experience with having learned a number of very important things. But one of them was that I don't know, frankly, who's been worse to some of the hardest hit regions in the country, business or government. So I'd put them both in the same camp. And those are two groups that need to be a catalyst for good. And we've got to pay more attention to those types of communities because those communities are really on the front lines of the environment and an environment we very much need to protect. So good on you for taking this on the road, speaking to people from all around the world, advancing this issue, but talking about it the way you talk about it. And hopefully, multilaterals, CEOs, heads of state are also watching so that they can learn how to talk about it like you do.
Well, Matt, I really appreciate that, and I can't thank you enough.
Thank you.
Thank you.